Perhaps that is an ending too. It begins on the day two bright hearts are born to the island. One just past dawn as a crescent moon rises, and the other when the sun is brightest, obscuring the glow of stars. Their mothers knew they would be born together, as witches and best friends often do. And though it is the first child for one and the last for the other, such does not come between them. They sit beside each other, arms stretched to touch the other's swollen belly as they grit their teeth and tell stories of what might become of their children. It begins when a queen sits in a pool of stars. It begins with 7 words with which to bind a crown, whispered in the language of trees. Eat of our flower and drink of your roots. It begins as the sun sets, the last time the final king of Innis Lear enters the cathedral at the heart of the island. This Lear has never been devoted to the roots, or paid much mind to well or wind. He is a man driven by the stars, by their motions and patterns, their singular purity and steadfastness, bold against the black reaches of night. To him, the cathedral is redundant. A person devoted to star prophecy has no need of root water or navel wells. 2 vast halls of carved limestone and blue-grey granite cross in the middle of the holy place. East-west arms aligned with the sky to trace the path of the sun at the summer solstice, so the day star rises precisely over the eastern spire. The other hall aims as true north as the ever-constant star Kalpalu, the eye of the lion. In the centre point where the halls cross, a well sinks deep into the core of the island, fresh and mossy, a dark channel from the womb of the earth. No ceiling caps the edifice, for what would the purpose be in closing away the sky? When it rains, water scours the stone floor and soaks the wooden benches. It cleanses the quarter altars and fills tiny copper bowls, making simple music with only the natural touch of water to metal. On sunny days, shadows caress living vines, and the poetry and icons etched into the walls, counting seasons and time of day. Clouds lower themselves in the spring to nest around the highest spires, curling soft and dewy and cool. Nothing separates sky from land here at the heart of Innis Lear. Now it is night, and a heavy moon tips against that eastern spire, another beginning, ready to burst. The king walks on the soles of thin slippers, his embroidered robe dragging off his shoulders. He is old, though not old enough to look as ravaged as he does, his hair wild and damp, his eyes tight from grief. An undyed tunic falls to his knees, nearly the same pale grey as his lined face and those long fingers. Straight to the well goes this royal wraith, and he presses his hands to its stones, breathing deep of the moss, the metallic smell of the earth's blood water. A shudder wrenches down his spine and he grimaces. Now, he commands, turning away. 7 strong men come forward with a flat, round piece of granite, carved off one of the massive standing stones that once marked this holy well, before the cathedral was erected around it. The granite glimmers bluish in the moonlight. The retainers roll and twist it awkwardly, straining against the ropes that bind it. Slowly they walk, turning it up the aisle. One of them is glad of this mission. 2 unmoved by the significance of their actions. 3 too worried to be quite as indifferent as they would prefer to be. And the last one alone wishing, with every ounce of his heart, that he'd been strong enough to stand against his king, to protest that this was wrong and unholy. The men position the stone, and in a moment of desperate hesitation, the last retainer looks fearfully at the king's expression, hoping for a reprieve. But the king's brows are drawn as he glares at the well, as if the well itself is responsible for everything. The retainer lifts his eyes instead to the open sky above, consoling himself with the reminder that his king does nothing without permission from the stars. And so this must be fated. It must be. Tears glimmer in the king's lashes when the granite slab falls forward, the sound of stone on stone filling the sanctuary. With a final pull of ropes, the navel is eclipsed. The smell of root water vanishes, as does a slight echo that the king had not